Did you gauge swatch that project? Have you ever wondered how to make a gauge swatch? Learning about the gauge tool has been so enlightening. At first, it seemed so intimidating. What is this thing? But it's really not that bad once you get to know the basics. Hi yarn friends! Have you been wanting to learn more about gauge tools, about gauge swatching? I know I have. And so I want to go over the most important key points to keep in mind. The term gauge demonstrates the specific stitches and rows per inch within the specific area. Typically, gauge is measured within a 4x4 area, but this can vary, so verify with your pattern or yarn label. Generally, you want to make your gauge swatch 5 to 6 inches by 5 to 6 inches. And this is because we do not want to include the edges in our measurements, just because they can be the most likely problem area as far as varying in size and tension. So once you are counting your stitches, if you don't have enough stitches across, you want to switch to a smaller hook. And if you have too many stitches, you're going to want to switch to a larger hook. Now when it comes to your rows, if your rows are off, first decide, is this really going to affect your project outcome? Things that can affect your row height are mostly going to be your specific technique. When you yarn over and pull up a loop, that is your golden loop. And that can vary in size based on your personal technique. So this golden loop may very well be a factor. If that's something that you want to change, you can adjust your technique, but you will have to be mindful of that through the entire project if that is that important to you. For most projects, this may not even really be a problem. So that's a personal decision that you will have to make. If you want to know more about this golden loop, I will be showing you here in just a moment. And I also have some examples of gauge swatches that we can work through. If at any point you decide that this is just too much for you, this is definitely something you can just bookmark and come back to when you're feeling up for the task. I understand that we're not always in the mood to deal with these specific mathematical equations. There's no mathematical equations really. I mean pluses and minuses, but nothing that difficult. Like most things in life, consistency is key. Tension consistency is key. Gauge is going to be most important when it comes to wearable items or projects where you really are concerned about the size of the project. Let's work our first swatch with this Red Heart Super Saver in dark teal. It's a medium worsted weight yarn, 100% acrylic. The gauge swatch recommendation in a 4x4 inch square is 12 single crochets by 15 rows. The recommended hook size is a 5.5 millimeter. So for this one, let's go ahead and chain 21. So there's 21, and I'll just measure that. And looks like we're about 6 inches perfectly because we have a turning chain here. So when I work into my chain, I am skipping my turning chain, second chain from the hook. I'm going through 2 loops of the chain. If you can see that. And there's a few different ways to work into the chain, but for this, I think that would be a basic approach. You can work into a different loop, but this is what we're doing today. that's what I'm doing today. So we're gonna make 20 single crochets across for our 6x6" swatch, and I will show you how I get up to the next row here. And I'm using single crochets because this is what the yarn label recommended. Thankfully, it's specified. I've noticed that some yarn labels don't specify the stitch. So now I'm at the end of the row. I have 20 single crochets in my chain. I'm going to chain 1 for a turning chain. It does not count as a stitch in this case. I'm going to single crochet into that next stitch, first stitch. Second stitch, we're just going to single crochet all the way across. I am going to go ahead and finish this swatch. I'm going to make a 6x6" swatch, and then let's go ahead and count stitches together and we'll see if we're meeting the gauge. So I have worked up 3 different swatches. I started with the 5.5 and I was a little bit off, so we're not going to count that one, but that was what the yarn label recommended. So I did that just to see what their recommendation was, but my stitches were a little bit small, and so I needed to go up a hook size. So let's go ahead and count my 6mm hook. This one I thought was very close, and I was very tempted to call it close enough. Well, let's go ahead and count these stitches so I can show you what I mean. So I'm just centering my gauge tool, and I'm going to kind of put my corner where I can count the first stitch alone here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and as you can see, I almost have 13. So let's just do another one to check my work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm at 13 across, and it was recommended 12 across. So how many rows do I have? So we want to make sure we're identifying our stitches, and with a single crochet there's these horizontal bars, and remember we turn our work in between, so we're not seeing the bars on that row, but they're there. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and we actually almost have 16. So that's what I mean, it's pretty close. So I was curious what the next size up would be. And so here is my 6.5mm swatch. And let's see how we came out here. Just centering that gauge tool and counting our very first stitch. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Not much of 13 there. So let's do another one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So how many rows? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And that's what we wanted, was 12 by 15. 12 single crochets by 15 rows. And actually that was the 6.5. I labeled my little, with my little tag. So that ended up actually being gauge, which was surprising. I was an entire hook size larger than what was recommended. Keep in mind these are not blocked, and that may change it up a little bit. So we can do that in a different video. So let me know how many swatches it takes you to me gauge. I think the next time I pick up some worsted weight yarn, I will just use a 6.5, and then if I need to drop down, I can. Maybe I would only need to make 1 swatch, maybe 2. If you are interested in working up some more examples, let me know in the comments below. So if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. If you have any additional information that you feel would be helpful, please put that down in the comments. Let's talk about it. I still have unanswered questions. What I mean by that is when you block a project, say you finish your project and you block it and it's perfect. It's everything you dreamed it would be. You wear it, maybe it's time to wash it, and once you wash it, do you have to reblock it? I think you do. Do you have any experience with this? Please let me know. I would love to know. Or are you a pro at making gauge swatches? Because if you are, I would love to know your secret. Thanks for joining me. I hope that you learned a thing or two. I know I did. Please subscribe and hit the bell. I appreciate you.